WEZC.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Animal control and intergovernmental agreements, or IGAs, have been the topic of discussion for the DeWitt County Public Safety Committee in recent months. At Thursday night's meeting, the committee continued discussion over the animal control budget and how revenue can be increased. Animal Control Administrator Grace Moore was asked by Chair Megan Myers to determine what percentage of the animals that they take in were from Clinton. She stated that it's roughly 70%.
One of the things I did ask Grace to do, just to get a better idea, is to take a look and see. We all know that costs have gone up, but my question was how many of those animals are coming from the county and how many from the municipalities. And I think one of the numbers you were able to pull was for Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton was about roughly 70%, probably give or take. But yeah, 75% of the animals that we get come from Clinton specifically. And then everything else is kind of between 2 and 10%, I think, for everywhere else within the county.
And a part of the agreement with the municipalities is that we're able to collect the $100 fee. But in how many cases do you feel that we're able to collect any fee on some of those animals?
We try to do as much as we can as far as that goes, but I would assume you're talking about like the citations and stuff, or for like.
Correct. I know, like for example, like if you get a stray animal that comes from Clinton, you can't collect anything because it's a stray.
Yeah.
Nobody. But like in the case where they have the 40 dogs, have we been able to collect anything from those?
No. There's some that we have, and there's things that I will send follow-up, like reminder letters, and say you've got until this day until we forward it. And we have gotten some of that back more recently, but it's definitely not the numbers that we would like to see.
John Wirtz brought up the topic of surrender fees, which were not increased when the committee performed the animal control cost study recently. One concern is that if fees are increased, people will stop surrendering animals and will rather just release them into the wild.
Have we raised our surrender fees any? I know that was something that came up in the cost study.
Yeah, that's a good question, John, because we did, I believe, raise some things, but we should look at that again because I can't remember. I know the cost study said that we had the ability to raise a few, but I'm not sure if we took advantage of all those. So we should go back and take a look.
Are we allowed to raise those fees with the contract with Clinton since, is that tied in for another however many years since they renewed last year?
Well, their contract's in place now for another 2.5, but I mentioned this to Joe, and I think it might be reasonable for us to go back to municipalities and say, hey, look, we need to maybe adjust this.
I think it's surrender, like I said, I apologize, computer wasn't working, but there was one that was as high as $300 for a surrender. So, that was high. That was highest one. So.
I think with surrender fees being that high, I think we'd see more of an influx in stray animals and animals being dumped, and then that's just
no doubt.
more of a burden that we're going to have to take on regardless.
Wirtz reiterated that animal control is a governmental service and is not designed to be a moneymaker for the county. That does not, however, mean that they have an unlimited budget. He says that things need to be kept under control.
We're never going to make money. It's never made money, but we got to try to keep it under control. And we all know that city of Clinton is the majority of the work that's going on there. So, I'd say looking at the surrender is a big thing. I'm not sure how the surrenders are written up. If somebody surrenders it, we just say we're going to keep the dog forever until it's adopted, or is there something in there with in accordance to the animal control ordinance of the state, to follow their lead?
So
And how are we doing that?
I would have to kind of look back to see what the state says, but I don't think there's anything specific about anything pertaining to how long we keep an animal for. I think as it's written in our own ordinances, there's not, it says minimum of 30 days. It doesn't give a maximum of how long we keep anything for.
While animal control does operate at a loss for the county, the committee commended Moore for a job well done when it comes to following up on fines and fees and creating a significant increase in revenue for the department. The committee decided that they would revisit the cost study once again to make sure they are taking advantage of all the opportunities they can to recoup animal control expenses. The Clinton Fire Department responded to an early morning fire on Thursday. Around 7 a.m., crews were called to the 1600 block of East Washington Street, where, upon arrival, first responders found a one-story home with heavy fire in the attic. Firefighters were able to swiftly knock down the flames and created holes in the roof for ventilation to suppress the rest of the smoke and hotspots. Crews from Clinton, Kenny, Maroa, and Wapella fire departments were on scene. As of the time of this story, Clinton fire officials were still on scene investigating with the state fire marshal's office. No injuries were reported, and no one was in the home at the time of the incident. 2 cats were rescued from the home. Now for your local obituaries. Gene C. Taylor, 96, of Clinton, passed away at 9:10 a.m. November 8th at the Ark of Normal. Services will be 11 a.m. Monday, November 17th at the Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Pastor Jonathan Roberson officiating. Burial will follow at Oak Park Cemetery in Clinton. Visitation will be 10 to 11 a.m. Monday at the funeral home. Memorials may be directed to the Alzheimer's Association. Galen D. Lichtenwalter, 95, of Clinton, passed away at 10:58 a.m. Friday, October 31st at Goldwater Care in Clinton. Graveside services will be at a later date at Oak Park Cemetery in Clinton, with Pastor Darrell Howard officiating. Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Memorials may be directed to the Clinton United Methodist Church. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
You were right.
You were right.
You were right.
Well, you were right. When you choose your seed brand, there's winning, and then there's...
You were right. Should have gone with Brevant seeds.
When you choose Brevant seeds, you don't just win, you get to be right. Don't just win. Talk with your retailer or visit Brevant.com/win to get started.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch morning show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
Closeout time is here for a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have a good selection of 25 Silverados remaining in regular and crew cab models with gas or diesel engines. Some with utility beds and dual roof wheels. Also see our remaining Colorados, Trailblazers, even our full-size Suburban and Tahoes, all priced to move out. See our 25 inventory today at BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
At SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, our team makes it easy to get your flu shot and protect the people you care about most. Book your appointment now by clicking the SIU Family Medicine icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In Class 2A quarterfinal action, Tri-Valley goes to Wilmington Saturday at 5. At the same time, El Paso Gridley hosts Farmington. Flora is going to Maroa-Forsyth Saturday at 2. And Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond is at Westville Saturday at 2. In Class 3A quarterfinal action, Williamsville hosts Tolono Unity Saturday at 2, and Saturday at 1, Vandalia goes to St. Joseph Ogden. In Class 4A quarterfinal action, third-seeded Rochester hosts Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin Saturday at 4. In Class 5A, first-seeded Washington goes to New Lenox Providence Catholic Saturday at 1. Saturday at 3, Oak Forest hosts Peoria. In Class 6A quarterfinal action, Burbank St. Lawrence goes to Dunlap Saturday at 3. The Maroa-Forsyth Lady Trojans basketball team returned some key players to an otherwise young squad. Head coach Selena Fink says last season's loss to Sullivan in the regional championship left a sour taste in the team's mouth. And she says this year her girls are up for the challenge of returning to and winning the regional championship.
We do. We have two big scorers coming back, and we have some kids that are going to fill in. Hard to replace what we lost, but we're going to do our best, and I think these kids are up for it. Did leave a little sour taste in our mouth last year, getting beat by Sullivan in the regional championship. So I think these kids are on a mission again to get back to that regional championship and then see what we can do. We get after it. We hustle. We play hard. If you tell us we can't, then we're going to get out there and show you that we can. I think just our hustle ability, we really feed well off of Avery Braden, who gets after it, and we just have that vibe. And when she's into that, the rest of them pick up on that, and it's just fun to watch.
Avery Braden is a senior on her way to a historic season at the high school. While she is focused on the team's goal of surpassing the 20-win mark once again, she could break the school's all-time scoring record.
Well, my dad owns a gym, so I've been putting in a ton of work before the season started, and then just getting after it at practice with my teammates and getting down the chemistry has been a big part of it. For the team, hopefully another 20-win season, hopefully another regional title, and then for me, breaking the all-scoring record for our school. No, I really try not to think about it. Just let the game go, and if it happens, it happens. We brought back a couple starters. We graduated a ton of seniors, but I think we have what we need to get another regional title.
Senior Adeline Simmons is looking to carry the success and momentum she gained during the volleyball season into the basketball season. She feels that the transition between the two sports is seamless.
Oh, we had a very good volleyball season this year with a regional championship and being a part of the Sweet 16 this year. Oh yeah, we're looking for a regional title this year for sure. It's been kind of crazy. There's been a few of us girls who are coming right from volleyball, and I think it's going good, just jumping right into it. Yeah. I think it's pretty seamless. Our volleyball coach does a good job at keeping us conditioned, so it was easy to swing right into it. We worked on basketball all throughout June this summer. Probably my defense. It's really picked up throughout high school. We focus a lot on defense, so.
The speed and hustle of the team have been on full display during practice. Senior Relinda Balashi wants to use her energy to hype up the team this season and wants to play selfless basketball.
It's been pretty good so far. We've just been hustling, getting after it, trying to get ready for this season, and a lot of moving pieces. We're all doing pretty good. Just bring energy, do what I can for my team, be reliable, help out other players when they need it. Just about that. Just keep working hard, do what we can right every practice, keep our bodies healthy, keep moving, and just follow that all throughout the season.
The Lady Trojans kick off the season on Thursday, November 20th, when they take on the Mount Pulaski Lady Hilltoppers in Maroa. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears have produced this season yet another example of how good things can indeed come in the NFL for those who are willing to wait. The Minnesota Vikings are in the thick of their test of patience, just 4 games in with J.J. McCarthy. After McCarthy carried the Vikings to a comeback victory in the opener at Chicago with a league record 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns by a quarterback in his debut, he sprained his ankle during the following week, The pause button on his development had to be pushed for 5 more games after knee surgery kept him out of his entire rookie year. McCarthy's latest return has predictably been up and down. He'll aim to stay unbeaten against NFC North opponents when the Vikings host the Bears on Sunday. The Vikings poured free agent money into the offensive and defensive lines with the belief Coach Kevin O'Connell and his staff could bring McCarthy along on the fly and still field a contender. His latest setback, combined with other early injuries to key players and some unexpected struggles at other positions, complicated the plan. McCarthy has 7 turnovers in 4 games with 65.8 passer rating. That ranks second worst in the NFL among the 46 quarterbacks in the league who've started at least 1 game. After a mostly rocky rookie season, Ben Johnson came along, having burnished his resume as the offensive coordinator for a high-scoring division foe in Detroit. Johnson has clearly had a positive influence. Williams has only 4 turnovers in 6 wins in 9 games. Through the 6 teams the Bears have beaten to have a combined record of 15, 41, and 1. They've enjoyed 4 fourth-quarter comeback wins. Johnson has favored the run in his play calling and to help keep the pressure off his young passer, but in cases where the Bears have been behind and Williams has needed to repeatedly drop back and let the ball rip, he has clearly begun to develop a rhythm in the pocket. Even better for the Bears, Williams has played in every game, only yielding a handful of mop-up snaps to backup Tyson Bagent late in blowouts. After keeping the ball 6 times for 58 yards and a touchdown against the Vikings in the opener, Williams had downshifted his running game until recently. He had 63 yards and a score last week on 8 attempts. After the Vikings offense took 8 false start penalties last week in the loss to Baltimore, the most in the NFL by a home team in 16 years, McCarthy and his teammates spent extra time refining the cadence of his pre-snap calls in an attempt to get everyone back in sync. Released by both Houston and Baltimore this season, Bears cornerback C.J. Gardner-Johnson has settled in quickly with 3 sacks in 2 games and a veteran presence for a secondary missing 2-time Pro Bowl pick Jalen Johnson and another regular cornerback, Kyler Gordon, to injuries. Gardner-Johnson has 18 interceptions and 7 sacks in 7 seasons while appearing in games for 5 different teams. He also had a pattern of costly, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Gardner-Johnson played his first 3 seasons in New Orleans, coached by current Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. With Detroit, Johnson was the offensive coordinator. A 5-game losing streak stands to crush Maryland Terrapins' bowl hopes as the Terrapins visit Illinois Fighting Illini on Saturday. Maryland needs to find success in a hurry with games at Champaign, home against number 18 Michigan, and at Ford Field against Michigan State. Since surrendering a 20-0 second-half lead against the visiting Washington Huskies on October 4th and losing 24-20, the Terrapins have been reeling. They suffered a 35-20 loss at Rutgers last Saturday. The losing skid fed public discourse about Loxley's future. Now in his 7th season and sporting a 16-40 record against the Big Ten, Loxley said no when asked if he felt he was coaching for his job over the final 3 games. His contract runs through 2027. Things are looking brighter for Brett Bielema at Illinois. The Fighting Illini are coming off a bye with a trip to Wisconsin sandwiched between home games with Maryland and Northwestern. Quarterback Luke Altmaier led Illinois to a 35-13 rout of Rutgers to snap a 2-game skid before the open week. He threw for 235 yards and ran for 88. He had a career-high 5 touchdowns, 4 passing and 1 rushing, and was named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. Wide receiver Hank Beatty had his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. He has 49 catches for 730 yards for an Illinois offense that's averaging 33.1 points per game, which would be the highest total in school history ahead of their 32.5 average in 2010. Illinois is postseason eligible in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2010 and 11 season. The team is 10-2 at home over the past 2 seasons. Loxley served as the offensive coordinator at Illinois from 2005 to 2008. Maryland trailed 21-17 at the half against Rutgers last Saturday. but gained only 83 total yards in the second half, managing just a 44-yard field goal by Sean O'Hare. A bright spot was Malik Washington, who had a career-high 164 rushing yards on just 8 attempts, setting a school record for rushing yards by a freshman quarterback. That included a 73-yard first-quarter touchdown run. Maryland leads the Big Ten and ranks second nationally with 17 interceptions and has at least one pick in 7 straight games. The Terrapins led the all-time series 2-1. The teams last met October 14, 2023 at Maryland, and Altmaier passed for 2 touchdowns in a 27-24 win. Get sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.